Ciao ragazzi, buongiorno. Welcome to a new Italian 101 class. Today's topic is very simple and very useful. Saluti, discorso, formale, informale. Salutations in formal and informal discourse. Basically, today we're going to learn several ways for saying hello and goodbye, and to be formal or informal when we say hello or goodbye, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is think of the different ways in which you would greet people depending on the time of the day. The first word we're going to learn today, you actually already know because we've used it a lot in class. It is buongiorno. Buongiorno. What that means is literally good day. And it's typically what you say as a greeting from sunrise to 1 p.m. Okay, 1 p.m. is sort of the limit for saying buongiorno. Of course, this is not a hard science, right? But it does sound a little weird to say buongiorno in the afternoon, right? So what do you say in the afternoon instead of buongiorno? You say buon pomeriggio. Buon pomeriggio. Buon pomeriggio is good afternoon. The pomeriggio in Italian tends to be very short, so I would say you can use it from 1 to 5, okay? How about after 5? I would say you have two options. You can say buonasera, buonasera, which means good evening, and is valid from 5 p.m. onwards until, say, midnight, right? And then buonanotte, buonanotte. I would say from 8 p.m. to midnight. It sounds a little weird to me to say buonanotte at 6 p.m., right? Or maybe, but the thing is, when you say buonanotte, it's very, very clear that it's saying, I'm going to bed. And maybe you as well, right? So when you say buonanotte, it's like the evening is over. You wouldn't say that to someone who's going to a party, okay? It's for someone who's going to bed or when you're going to bed yourself. Okay. So besides these very useful 4 expressions, I want us to learn a few more. But in order to do so, we have to realize that in Italian there are 2 ways of addressing people, 2 ways of talking to them. Okay? There is a formal way and there is an informal way. And I don't mean just in the way that you behave when you talk to people, right? And in the, I don't know, in the attitude you show. This is also very, very clear in the language you use, okay? There are types of words and expressions and forms of the verbs and so on and so forth that you would use only in informal situations and you would not use informal, in more formal situations, okay? So we're going to start introducing that concept, looking at a few ways of saying hi and goodbye and thinking about whether they are for formal or informal situations. The first of these we've done a lot. Let's do it again. Ciao. Ciao. As I've said, that means both hi and bye, but notice that it says informal. It's actually very, very informal, molto informale, okay? So if you're talking to someone who demands respect, like, I don't know, the president of the college, it would be awkward to say ciao. Maybe they would, feel a little disrespected. Because this is the kind of, think of it a little bit as a yo, right? Yo, right? It's very, very informal. It's fun, but also very informal. So you would not use this in a situation in which you want to address people in a formal way. What would you say if you want to say hello in a very formal way, in a way that shows that, you respect this person? You would say salve. Salve. That's the very formal and respectful way of saying hello. Now, how about goodbye? Besides the very informal ciao, there are other options. You have, for example, arrivederci. Arrivederci. What that means is literally until we see each other again, all of it in one word, so it's a very, very useful word. It's also a neutral way of saying goodbye. So you could use that in a formal situation. You could also use it in an informal situation, okay? And of course, like until we see each other again, there is that implication that you'll meet again, and we're looking forward to that meeting. But there's also an option to say this, an option for saying this, while being very, very formal. This is the kind of until we see each other again that you would say to the president of the college. Arrivederla. Arrivederla. Very formal, very respectful. Now, these last two have the implication of wishing someone a good time in the future after you say bye to them. Okay? So there's Buona Giornata. Buona Giornata, which means literally have a good day. It's neutral. It can be used in formal or informal situations, but it's for wishing someone a good day. And then for wishing someone a good evening, which is also neutral. Buona serata. Buona serata. Okay? So let's practice this a little. Let's think about 8 situations in which it would be necessary to say hi or goodbye. And let's think about which of these we would use. We have several options. Buongiorno, buon pomeriggio, buonasera, buonanotte, ciao, arrivederci, salve, or buona giornata. Okay? So in the morning at 6 a.m., right, the first situation, that's probably the best moment of the day to say buongiorno, buongiorno, right? The best type of greeting for the very beginning of the morning. Now, how about saying hi to your friends at 12 p.m. at noon? How do you say hi to your friends at noon? You can say buongiorno, of course, because it's still considered the morning, or you can say ciao, which is the informal way of greeting friends. How about saying hi to your boss at 10 a.m.? Your boss. Okay, I know that in America, the professional relationships can be very informal, but also in Italy. But I would say Italians tend to be much more formal than Americans. Okay, so let's think that this is an Italian boss that likes to be respected, and you want to say hi to him at 10 a.m. What do you say? You can certainly say buongiorno, right? That's neutral. Or if you want to be very respectful, you can say salve. And you want to say bye to your boss at the end of the workday at 4 p.m. Right? What do you say? Again, this is a boss that wants to be respected. He doesn't want to hear ciao. So what can you say? There are several options. I'm going to choose 2 here. Arrivederla, right? Arrivederla. That's a very respectful way of saying until we see each other again. Arrivederci would also fit because it's neutral, but we're thinking of a very stilted boss, so arrivederla maybe is better. Or you can say buon pomeriggio, right? It's 4 p.m., it's a pomeriggio. How about saying bye to your friends at 7 p.m.? So no need to be formal, you can say ciao, right? You can say also buonasera, right? Because it's the sera, it's the evening. Or you can say buonanotte. The thing with buonanotte is that it means I'm going to bed, right? So if you're leaving for a party, you would not say buonanotte. It sounds a little funny, right? Like you're going to your party for sleeping or something. Yeah, so ciao, buonasera, or buonanotte, but buonanotte has an implication of I'm going to bed. Now, 7 a.m., you just put your kid in the school bus. You want to say bye to them. You can, of course, use ciao. That's very useful in informal situations. But maybe if you want to wish the kid a good day, you can also say Buona Giornata. Okay? Now, how about 4 p.m. but saying bye to the queen? Oh, the queen. So here we want to be very, very formal, right? We don't want to disrespect the queen. So we can say arrivederla, and I would say that's the best option here because it sounds very formal, almost like old-fashioned, right? So it's the type of thing you want to say to the queen, arrivederla. Or you can say buon pomeriggio, right? Because it's the pomeriggio. And how about 11 p.m. and going to bed? Well, that's probably the best moment of the day to say buonanotte, right? Because there, it's clear you're going to bed. Okay? Before we end, we're going to review other formal and informal expressions that are very useful for very simple conversations. Okay? So I'm going to give you two forms of each expression. One of them is formal, one of them is informal. The formal way of asking someone what their name is come si chiama? Come si chiama? What is your name? Or literally, if you want to translate literally, this means what are you called, right? Come si chiama? And the informal way of asking someone for their name is come ti chiami? Come ti chiami? I will interrupt to say that it is my sense that Italians tend to be very, very formal to strangers, okay? So someone you don't know and you're asking them for the very first time for their personal information, you would typically say come si chiama, okay? Maybe you can say come ti chiami to a classmate, a young classmate or something, but the formal is probably better in almost any situation when it's someone you don't know. Right? Now, in order to ask someone how they're doing, how they are, the formal version is come sta? Come sta? How are you? And the informal version of this is come stai? Come stai? Now, in order to ask someone where they're from, we also have two options. The first one, di dove? Di dove? Where are you from? Formal version. The informal version is di dove sei? Di dove sei? And lastly, very, very important for saying excuse me, it can be used in all the situations in which you would use excuse me in English, right? So when you are asking someone for permission to go through their space, or when you're asking for an apology, when you're making an apology, right? So the formal version here is scusi, scusi. Hear the buzzing sound of that second S, right? Because it's between two vowels. So scusi. And then the informal version, scusa, scusa. Okay? So remember, there are formal and informal ways of addressing people in Italian, and these are some of them. Grazie ragazzi. A presto.